Bro, something I want to talk about today is just fucking Madden. Everyone knows Madden sucks, or maybe not sucks, but is mid and hasn't reached the standards to which it is has supposed to have been. Damn, why hasn't it met its standards? Everyone knows it's because of fucking Mutt. Mutt makes them so much money, and these kids who are, they're young and they don't know that Madden used to have more features and things like that. Um, they just get addicted to Mutt, and it goes from there. But what I really want to talk about, what I think football video games is missing, and I want to call this out early. NCAA is very overrated, and I didn't really realize that until I saw the trailer and I played it again just the other day. Like, bro, NCAA is so overrated, okay? And it's because Madden is so not good. Okay, I'm not gonna say Madden is bad. It's just it's not where it's supposed to be. So look, NCAA, the gameplay is kind of slow. Okay, it's slower compared to Madden because it's college. I guess that makes sense. But something I noticed is that the jukes are more fluid than Madden's, but they still aren't very fluid. If you want to play a single player career, like say you want to be a wide receiver, right? If you want to be a wide receiver, the gameplay, the way you have to play as a wide receiver, it's not fundamental to the way football is played. Football is, if you want to run a slant, you probably have to go inside release, maybe use a swim move, maybe you could step back on some Devontae Adams shit, maybe you could, chop your feet a bit, whatever, or you could use physicality, use a Larry Fitzgerald move where you pull the defender's hands and boom up and cut. In NCAA, you just run around the defender and run away with him, because if you run the route fundamentally, the defender is going to be all over that because that's how they programmed the game. It's kind of lazy. It's like, oh, look, we made it hard. We did a good job. Like, no, like you guys, it's not where it's supposed to be. Really, something I want to get out the way is that this is just a rant, and I just kind of want to just get it all out. I'm not really going any particular direction. I have a lot of thoughts on this game. Uh, Things that could make the game better, things that could make the game not as bad, type stuff. You get what I'm saying? So, you know, one thing I want to mention is that the number one thing I think Madden lacks in just football games in general is passion. People like NCAA because whether even I have to admit, as I don't really like the gameplay, I think it's overrated. It has passion, and college football just has a lot of passion, and I think it goes in hand with the game. But back to Madden, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just lacks passion. There's no creative play. Creative player is very lame. There's a lot of small things missing. Like, for example, if you want to create a lineman, right, and he's 6'8", he's 300 pounds, he's a fucking monster. He's 3-4 defensive end, right? If you make a 6'3", 300-pound defensive end, he'll be skinnier than the 6'8", 300-pound fucking defensive end, which doesn't really make sense if you understand the laws of physics. Okay, and that's the thing. Like, man, they just don't care. They just don't think like when they do the game. Like, they just think, oh, lighting, oh, like literally like the most brain rot shit fucking possible type shit. Like the most like Madden game developing is like literally the definition of brain rot, bro. These kids don't have shit on EA, bro. If you're one of those people that looks at the next generation, it's just like, man, these kids are on one with all this extra ass shit they do. Bro, they aren't on shit compared to what EA has fucking going on, because they can't develop a game for shit. There's no creative play. I know a lot of people say, like, something people vent about all the time in the Madden community, bro, is like they vent about how people can run the same play over and over and over. And something I want to mention is, bro, we aren't NFL coaches, bro. We don't know. Like, even like if you've played like semi-pro or high school, bro, like they aren't NFL coaches. NFL coaches draw up so many different plays. They probably draw up plays in the middle of the game. Like they have so much shit. Like it's so crazy, and they have thousands of plays to choose from, bro. In real life football, bro, like teams master like 3 plays, and then they like maybe like know like 10 other ones, and they go into the game with that. They're not like, it's not like a video game where you have, like, no, you take your team, you have 11 guys that coach on both sides of the ball, and you master like 4 to 5 plays depending on how, however the coach runs things. you know, and then you go into the game. Like, dude, I played football myself. I watched our team dominate, running like the same 3 run plays over and over, and we just had it mastered like this. That's a real life thing in football. If you don't like that, you might have to accept that. One, you're not an NFL coach, but two, I actually have a solution to your problem. I have a solution to your problem. My solution is that we need creative play. So think about this. If people are running the same play over and over again, right? And then you use creative play. Creative play is going to make things worse, right? And that's what you would think. But if there's creative play on defense where you can actually counter, I think that would slow down a lot of the bullshit we see in Madden. Like, you can't, because this is the thing. In Madden, we don't have a problem with people running the same play over and over again. We have a problem with the failure to adjust. Hey, this guy is running the same slant with this same wide receiver over and over and over again, and I can't get the coverages right. Or you might even know like the entire cover. Like, for example, me, I know the entire audible system in Madden, and I still can't get these coverages right. I can't use her. There's 11 defenders on the field. I can only use her one at a time. I wish I could command my other guys. The most I could do is maybe shade them inside, shade them outside, you know. But even if you shade them inside, that doesn't mean cover them inside, and they might get burnt. I should be able to tell like one of my teammates, like, hey, like, dude, this guy's running a fucking slant, and boom, strap that up. You get what I'm saying? Like, they don't have that. They don't have those kinds of futures in Madden, and that's a real life football thing. Like, I've played football. I've been on the field. At corner, I had my safety literally tell me, hey, he's running a fucking post. I was a freshman on playing against varsity, so I got burned still, but like, it happens in football. It's a real thing. You get what I'm saying? So like, and that's just something that Madden lacks, is like, we're so busy trying to make the game realistic, bro. They don't care about actually making a simulation football game. And if you recognize that, bro, just let them have there's no passion. That's the problem. It's all about graphics and lightning. Bro, they could take a solid 3-year break off the fucking graphics. Like, take a 3-year break off the fucking graphics, bro, because you guys, they don't need to do all that. You get what I'm saying? We don't need graphics. You've been updating the graphics every game for the last 20 years, bro. Like, I'm not, like, that's actually crazy. Like, bro, like, add in new mechanics. Like, why do the players feel like when you try to cut, they feel like moving trucks? Like, this should be different. They don't juke. Like, the game, they're trying to be more fundamental, but part of fundamentals is action and exciting, you know, and excitement. You know, there's not enough. The jukes aren't nasty enough. You know what I'm saying? I don't see the jukes being nasty enough. The catches aren't nasty enough. They still haven't figured out a good DB wide receiver aggressive catch system. You know what I'm saying? If you're like, I think right now the current state, like, for example, back in Madden 16, it was just like, oh, the wide receiver wins like everything. And it was fucking, the game was so broken, and oh my god, the community ignored it. Like, it was so bad, but it was so bad. And now it's like the opposite. It's just like, oh, well, if you throw it up, it's getting picked. It doesn't matter if you have Calvin Johnson, Larry Fitzgerald, who's balling out today. Like, it doesn't matter if you have Justin Jefferson. It's probably getting fucking picked. Oh, it's a 5th round rookie, 60 over. Doesn't matter. It's getting picked. Bro, it's kind of ridiculous. Like, it's like, do you watch football? Like, it's a genuine question to the people who make this game. Like, do you watch football? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, because if you watch football, then you should be, and if you play football, if you play video games, and you know what the people need and you know what the people want, the game should be in a better state. You get what I'm saying? I understand you want to, from a business perspective, you want to make money off of MUT, and it's actually killing. That's cool, but you could still have good gameplay in other areas. That's not going to stop people from playing MUT. If MUT is really that good of a mode, like, I think people are going to stick, like, people stick to it. People pick MUT over everything. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't really understand the lazy mindset. It just shows how much the people who are making Madden don't actually care about football, which is pretty crazy in my opinion. But, you know, and that's the thing about, and that's the thing is, like, Madden, it just lacks so much creativity. You know, back in like Madden 12 on the Wii, bro, like, you could take, on the fucking Wii, you could take a wide receiver and draw a route from him from the line of scrimmage, like type shit. Like and you have these people who think that they know football and they don't play football. Like they never played on a field or something and they think they know football. Probably played like on the offensive line in the 7th grade and shit, and they think they know football. Like, no, bro. Like, this is real football. Like, they call audibles. A quarterback could look at his wide receiver on the side and be like, hey, blue, red. The wide receiver knows what that is. It could be a fucking custom personal team route. It doesn't matter. They know. You get what I'm saying? And, just a lack of passion is what's really in the game. Like, back when I used to play, like, I remember just being, like, for lack of a better word, like, obsessed low-key. Like, man, like, trying to get that big 6'5", 230-pound wide receiver that runs a 4.38 or something like, that Randy Moss, Julio Jones, Calvin Johnson kind of guy. And something that Madden has really failed to capitalize on in franchise mode is, I don't even want to call it franchise mode. Let's just call it season mode. It's a season, you get what I'm saying? And if you want to continue with the seasons and kind of have like your own alternate universe reality of football, that's a separate thing, you get what I'm saying? But really, it's a season. Fuck franchise, it's a season, you know what I'm saying? Their season mode is broken. And something that they've really failed to do is, aside from the broken stats and, the unrealistic stats that they haven't really gotten right yet, something that they really messed up at is the draft classes, and they finally started working on it. But it's like, damn, it's like, do you guys not test your own product? Do you not, like, we live in a day and age where you have access to statistics. You can look at what is the average height of a DB. How many 5'8" DBs are there? How many 5'9" DBs? How often do we get, someone who breaks the barrier of average? How often do we get 6'3", 6'4", even 6'5" DBs at wide receiver? You could do that. You could think this way at every single position. You could think that way at every single. You could think that way at you. I don't know how to explain it, man. Like, the information is out there. The information is out there, and that's all that matters, man. The information is out there. So, they failed to make draft classes interesting, and what sucks is I think the draft class is one of the best like things about football. It's one of the most interesting things about football is, hey, we have guys from LSU, we got guys from Oregon, we have guys from Ole Miss, we have guys from literally like hundreds or thousands of colleges and different sizes from different places and shit, and you just throw them in this bowl and it's like a lottery, you know what I'm saying? And it's like you don't know what you're getting. If you're in the season mode and you're a coach, right? You're looking at guys like, man, I want an athletic freak, or I want a guy who's naturally instinctual. I mean, it's hard to even get to this point until they fix gameplay, but I could dream, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lack of hype for the draft in Madden. There's a big lack of hype in the draft for Madden, because in Madden what happens is, it's very stale, lame, watered down. They put like a little they edited the presentation, and they like, oh look, now the players walk up on the stage and they hold a jersey. Like, bro, no one cares. It's a video game. You don't have to emulate real life in every single part of this game. You don't have to add these weird ass like cutscenes where with these fake people. Like, dude, just make a good video game the way it used to be. And I'm not trying to be nostalgic. I don't like nostalgia. There's plenty of areas where Madden has improved. I'm not saying we should just go back to the way things used to be, but I have to honestly acknowledge that there used to be a lot more game modes. There just used to be a lot more fire to the game, I guess you could say. Now it's like, one thing that I think really kills the game of Madden is the lack of good jukes. If you play Madden 15, bro, sorry, bro, but if you play Madden 15 and you hop on with like Robert Griffin III, Colin Kaepernick, Russell Wilson, and you run the read option, bro, you were out there cooking shit, bro. I'm telling you, like, the jukes were so nasty, and it wasn't even jukes. It wasn't like, oh, use the right stick and juke. It was like you could just cut, because that's how real football is. It's not like, oh, let me stop and do my little sidestep like they do in fucking Madden. No, it's like, bam, cut. You get what I'm saying? And it was like, bam. You could do double cuts too. You go, bam, bam. And it was a different element. Like, it was actually fun, exciting, exhilarating. Like, something you came home from school and you're like, damn, I can't wait to, like, I want to hop on this shit. And you could do it every fucking day. It never got old. Like, that's how good that shit was. And now, like, man, it kills me to see where the game has gone, because now it's like, I don't really like I don't really like Ryan Moody that much, because I think he kind of just hates. But he said one thing that I really agreed with. It's a polished turd. If you look at the graphics and the way the uniforms and the lighting and everything, it looks fucking great. Like, it looks great. Like, they to their credit, they started getting the gear in there, and they have all kinds of sleeves and stuff, but the gameplay just isn't really in a place where it really makes it so that we look at that and be like, good. It's something that, and it was something that's supposed to be there since like Madden 15, and they didn't have fucking traditional sleeves in Madden 15, which blows my mind. Like, it took them like literally till 2020 to get this shit right, which literally should tell you everything that you need to know about this fucking game. But whatever. So look, sorry, I gotta catch my breath. I've been venting, but yeah, man, it was just a different game. Something that I really think that would be interesting, cause I understand like MUT, bro, but bro, football in real life, like, it's about seasons. Even it's not even in NFL. Like, if you play football for like, bro, there's probably some kids watching this shit. Like, you play football, you play youth football, or some of you have played youth football or played high school football. You play in a league. That league adds structure that makes things interesting. You get what I'm saying? Like, damn, like, everyone wants to be the top dog. Who is the top dog? Oh, them boys went undefeated last year. They've been undefeated for 2 years in a row. You get what I'm saying? Like, the league is what makes things interesting. When you play MUT, you take the league away. You're taking an entire element of the game. You're taking the main structure and element of the game away for some fantasy fucking world where Lawrence Taylor and Ed Reed are on the same team as Kyle Hamilton and shit. And I get there that might be fun to some people, but to me, that just gets kind of fucking old. Especially because it's so pay to win, bro. Like, ugh. I mean, I try not to hate on this part for EA, because you gotta look at the business side of it. You guys are fucking idiots. Sorry, but like, you guys continue to buy this game. You guys continue to buy this game knowing that they are making a mediocre product where they don't really care that much, and you're still sitting there like, yeah, keep like keep giving me this, like, keep, like, I'm gonna keep buying it, doesn't matter, keep buying, like, I'll even buy MUT and shit. Like, we're getting, as a community, we're getting what we deserve. Some of us, we deserve better, but as a community, we're getting what we deserve. You get what I'm saying? So it just is what it is. It just is what it is. What I'm gonna say, man, is there any hope? Man, probably not, but I'm gonna continue venting anyways. So look, man, the running back position. I think running back is probably the most fun position in football, because everybody wants the ball in their hand, okay? If you're an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman or a defender, cool, but like, when let's take football down to its most purest form, when you're going outside with your friends and you're just throwing the ball around, like, everyone wants the ball in their hand, and running back, they get that. So the fact that jukes aren't exciting and exhilarating is a huge fucking red flag. It's a huge red flag. Okay? Running the ball isn't exciting, the game isn't exciting, bro. Like, the game like, I'm sorry, but like, bro, if running the ball is not exciting, the game isn't going to be exciting. So what we should do is make sure that running the ball is exciting. What does that mean? Trucks need to be added to the game. It shouldn't feel the same to run with Marshawn Lynch as it does with LeJon McCoy. LeJon McCoy was so agile and so freaky with the jukes, bro. And I bet, and he was so fun to play with in Madden 15 back when it was actually emulated. Marshawn Lynch, he wasn't exactly like some other big running backs, but like, bro, he was a problem. If you got a burst of speed and then you try to tackle him, Good luck, bro. Like good fucking like good luck. As a former 49er fan, I'm telling you, bro, like once he gets that burst of speed and you try to tackle him, you're getting ran over. Okay, you're getting ran over. And then like Derrick Henry, like bro, if you try to like for example, Madden emulates this a little bit, like I guess like with a stiff arm, but it just doesn't feel fun. And something I want to mention is I'm older. I am older. I understand that as an older person, the game just isn't that as fun anymore. And I think a lot of people my age fail to acknowledge that. Like, bro, like you also have to acknowledge like once you're 20, bro, video games don't hit the same anymore, and that's fine. But I still want to acknowledge that the game is still fucking ass. You know what I'm saying? But that's one element of the game that's broken is jukes. Okay, I understand we want to keep things realistic, but we have to take the lid off a little bit. Okay, if we take the lid off a little bit, then things open up. Things get unrealistic sometimes. That is realistic. Like that one time Adrian Peterson ran for 300 yards. There's nothing realistic about that, bro. We might not see that for the next 5 years. There's nothing realistic about that. There are plenty of unrealistic things that have happened in football. Football is a game of unrealistic shit. For example, we had a DB who just got like 5 defensive touchdowns this year, more touchdowns than a lot of slot wide receivers. It's a game of unrealistic shit. You get what I'm saying? So if running backs were fast and exhilarating and can hit holes better and were juking, like had their feet, quicker, um, they could juke side to side better. I'm telling you, better, I guess like I wouldn't say control. I wouldn't say control. I would say they need to have more pinpoint acceleration. More pinpoint acceleration and better cuts and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then on top of that, if they're running guys over properly and stuff, like if Derrick Henry meets a DB on the sideline and he has the ability to stiff arm, it should go down every time. Or even, just the ability to fall forward. Something I noticed that running backs do a lot in Madden is they fall forward. In the fall forward system, a big problem I have with Madden in this is that it doesn't really make sense. Like it's completely random and it appears to be lucky. Now, I noticed maybe like sometimes like if you have a certain momentum when you run, maybe it'll help you fall forward, which is okay. But really, something I would like to see is it be more skill based instead of like, hey, like I ran the ball. Because sometimes as a ball carrier, I have to admit, like I'll notice like I'm running the ball and I'm like, bro, like I fell forward 4 yards and I didn't deserve that. This linebacker totally just fucking clogged my hole. And in the physics didn't even make sense. My running back is a 5'10", 200-pound guy. The linebacker is 230-pound guy. He had the momentum and I just fucking fell forward like 6 yards. You get what I'm saying? Like that doesn't make sense. And if you're playing online against somebody, like bro, like that's so rage, bro. Like that's so rage, man. That's so rage. So um man, like I want to go back on something I said too. I don't think there should be precision pinpoint running. In fact, I think it should be the opposite. I think it should be off the handles. Like running the ball. There's if you've ever played football and you got in the ball, I'm gonna be honest. I wasn't a running back, but I can imagine if you have the ball, bro, and you have to run through linebackers and defensive linemen who are trying to tackle you, bro. There's actually no control, bro. Like it's a scary thing that's happening. It's thrilling. It's exciting. It's like shit. Gotta hit that hole. Gotta, you know what I'm saying? It's not. It doesn't need to be controlled. It needs to be, you know what I'm saying? Like exhilarating. Like they need to run with more exhilaration. You know what I'm saying? And different running backs have different styles. Some running backs actually do feel like, they run with a certain amount of, like a slower pace, like they do in Madden. Like I feel like playing Madden, every running back moves like Alvin Kamara, but they don't break tackles like Alvin Kamara, and that's a big problem. So now the next thing is, um, there's a lack of openness on the field, something that Madden and a lot of people just haven't ever even thought of. Is something that I don't like is that why is the game so confined to the quarterback? You get what I'm saying? Like, why is the game so confined to the quarterback? If you hop on Madden and you want to play head to head, right? You want to play head to head against some guy, some stranger. You guys are both going to be quarterbacks on offense. On offense, okay. On defense, you could be whoever you want. Cool. But on offense, you have to be the quarterback, which I don't think is like, I don't think that's really right. You know what I'm saying? Because like, I just don't think that that's right. You get what I'm saying? Like, because in real football, you know, some teams damn near focused around the running back, like the Titans for the last 5 years until Derrick Henry went to the Ravens. Like their team ran around a lot around Derrick Henry, who's a running back. He was the main guy. And honestly, what's crazy is I bet like there are some people out there who could literally learn how to be like top, like real, like in the world, like top man players in the world, circulating from the running back position. Because bro, if you're not a quarterback, like in real life, like it's kind of hard to figure that shit out. You get what I'm saying? Like let me be like I want to see like let me be a running back, and I bet it would make the game so much more fun. Because if I'm a running back, bro, and I could switch from quarterback to running back, wide receiver, I got the defense. I got you. Imagine you're playing me, right? If you're playing me and you're on defense, you gotta guess where I am. You get what I'm saying? You gotta guess where I am. You gotta guess where I am. Am I a wide receiver? It's a thrill. It's like damn, it's like whack-a-mole. Like where is this motherfucker? And then if you find me, then you gotta figure out what play I'm running. And it's just like it's more fun. You're opening up the strategy part of the game. And guess what? If you're a defender, you're probably having a hard time figuring that out. You're having a hard time figuring that out. So if I'm at running back and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna run the ball. Boom, I run the ball. Next play, okay, it's a screen. You know what I'm saying? Or next time, and then the next play, I'm like, all right, it's a pass play, but I'm gonna be the running back and just run on this little out route. You get what I'm saying? You gotta stay with me and figure that shit out. You know what I'm saying? And that's gonna make the player to player competition better. That's gonna make, because it makes the game more, what's the word, more interactive. I'm interacting with you competitively more on a higher level. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to find the right word, the perfect word, but it's not really coming to me. But that's what's going on. You get what I'm saying? And then imagine if you could be a wide receiver. You get what I'm saying? Oh, I'm not even gonna be the quarterback. I'm gonna go be a wide receiver. I got Tyreek Hill, cover me. You get what I'm saying? Like that's something that never happens. One of the funnest position to play in football. If you ask most kids on the street, it's wide receiver, and then if you're on defense, it's DB. Okay, wide receiver, halfback, quarterback, and then on defense, it's DB. Okay, because they get the interceptions. They have us so logged in at defensive line and linebacker, which is cool. There's nothing wrong with that. You should have to be there sometimes, but at the same time, bro, I want to be able to kick out, play wide receiver. Man, why do I have to be a quarterback? This dude can't even cover me running my routes. You get what I'm saying? And it doesn't have to be like one of those YouTube videos where it's wide receiver versus DB. You get what I'm saying? It could just be, the wide receiver just running. You get what I'm saying? The wide receiver just running, and then you switch back to running back or quarterback. So if we get that, bro, I think that would be so evolutionary to the game, to just football video games, bro. Like like it's so evolutionary. I'm almost scared to post this because like if this by a small chance blew up, bro, or something, bro, like that would like, and someone took my idea, I'd be so mad, bro, because that's like no one's thought about that. Like they're so focused on building the game around the quarterback that they're abandoning. Hey, they never just sat and thought, man, what if we let the user be the wide receiver and can control which position he could play? You get what I'm saying? Or you might have like a defensive end rushing, right? Like you might be playing against some guy and he has like a X factor defensive end and Myles Garrett, who is fucking ridiculous, right? Myles Garrett is absolutely fucking ridiculous. And then your offensive lineman just can't stop him. So you're like, okay, I'm gonna use the offensive lineman for a play, throw him off, and then switch back to quarterback. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, the game, I think that's the key to opening up football gaming, because it's so lame right now. It's so lame, bro. I'm really gonna preach that idea in future videos too. Multiple position football, multiple positions. I should be able to switch from quarterback to wide receiver, but I think I've gotten this point across. So now I kind of want to talk about something else. I talked about this earlier in the video. A lack of defensive audibles, man. Like just a lack of defensive audibles. Um, in Madden, for example, in the defensive line, something that happens way too often in Madden is I know where the player is going. I know where the player is going. I know, like, I can know exactly what my opponent is going to do, and I can't stop it, because it's not because I don't know where it's going. I obviously know it's coming this hole, or maybe my opponent has a play where it's like, hey, I run through this hole. If he clogs that, I run through that hole. You know what I'm saying? And maybe I have a hard time stopping that. You know what I'm saying? You could crash the defensive line. You could move them in the right holes. And it takes a kind of a high IQ Madden player, just football player, to kind of figure out the gaps. And that's something that's very interesting is they don't have A gap, B gap, or C gap. They don't have those labels in the game. How, if you're a real ass football player, a linebacker, which I was not, so I can't really speak for them, but if you're a real ass defensive lineman, you know what an A gap and a B gap and a C gap is, bro. So how is it in Madden you don't have that? How am I going to properly stop a run play using your strategic audibles, which, mind you, is a point of strategy? It's not just jukes and catches. Madden football and Madden is about strategy. So from a strategic standpoint, you don't have your shit together. You don't, because you don't have A gap, B gap, C gap. You know what I'm saying? Only on like goal line or some shit like they have that shit in there. So if they get that in the game, then you know it'll make playing defense a little easier. You know what I'm saying? For people who understand those audibles. If you don't understand those audibles, that's just a lack of experience on your behalf. You have to play enough until you figure that out. But you know, damn, it's hot in here. But just again, it goes back to a lack of audibles. Also, like we could talk about the linebackers, right? If we talk about the linebackers, you could shift them, but something I noticed is like you can't tell them what hole to clog. Like you could shift them, and I don't know if that, I don't think that tells them which hole to clog. You should be able to tell them. You should be able to tell them which hole to clog. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I want you in this hole. He's coming through here, okay? And then you could shift your defensive lineman in a way. Hey, defensive lineman, crash that hole, crash that hole. I got a linebacker for this hole. You get what I'm saying? There's not enough details and communication in the audible system for you to do that in Madden. You get what I'm saying? And it just, again, it takes away from the strategy. It makes the game more brain rot, and I don't think we should do that. The game is fun with strategy. It shouldn't be a chess game. It shouldn't be like a overly intellectual thing. I'm not saying that. I'm saying when you add a little bit of it in there, that's when it's like, oh, you know, that's pretty good stuff right there. You get what I'm saying? That's pretty good stuff right there. So yeah, and the next thing is we could talk about the DBs. The DBs, and I guess you could include the linebackers in this. The DBs are the worst because, like, bro, like, let's talk about that one play that I don't know if it's still going on. I personally didn't play Madden 25. I played Madden 24. There is a play where it's like it's a Hail Mary formation, but instead of a Hail Mary, there's one guy that runs the streak and the trips form, and then another guy that runs a corner, and then another guy that runs out. Okay, and it's one of the most popular plays in Madden. And then some people realized, hey, if you have like fast guys, like if you have Tyreek Hill, it's fucking unguardable. And it is. Like I've played guys who aren't even good at it, but as soon as they got that, they're not good at Madden. But as soon as they got that, play, suddenly they're a threat to beating me. So I can only imagine people who are actually good at Madden and actually have mastered the play. Like you're good luck fucking stopping that guy. You're not stopping that guy. So again, and I talked about this a little bit earlier, but I want to go in more into depth about it. The DBs, man, they're just, you should be able to tell them like, hey, like this guy is running this fucking route. Okay, let me make an example. If I'm playing against a team and this guy, he runs this vertical formation and he calls audibles out of that formation, okay, but I notice his left wide receiver is constantly running a streak, and I had to use my middle linebacker to stop his guy in the slot. It doesn't matter. He keeps audibling what the guy in the slot does, and maybe he's the main difference maker in the play because he keeps throwing to him. And then he has a second option on the right, to the right of the guy in the slot, because there's two slot receivers. So the second slot receiver, sorry. And so basically, I should be able to tell like a middle linebacker, hey, like play zone right here. You get what I'm saying? Because the problem with Madden coverages is they're too robotic. You get what I'm saying? Like, I should be able to get, because linebackers in real life, they communicate with each other. If there's no
Buddy, if you have a left outside linebacker or a middle linebacker, and you have a wide receiver on the left, and the wide receiver on the left is running a streak, and he's constantly running a streak, he hasn't run a slant or anything all fucking game. Tell that left outside linebacker or that middle linebacker, hey, scoot over here. We have guys over here who are running routes, okay? You know what I'm saying? I could put you right here, and boom, I could use this guy, and I could stop out this fucking play. I could figure it out. You know what I'm saying? It just the audible the secondary we need there needs to be more command in the secondary, and I think that starts with one calling out routes, two better shading, okay, because something that happens sometimes is I don't care if it's a fifth round rookie, bro. NFL players are NFL players, bro. If I tell you shade outside, watch the fucking out, you should be on that like white on rice, bro. I don't care how bad you are. If you get mossed, if you get like a if there's a catch in traffic because of the difference in skill or something, or like maybe it's a super elite route runner like fucking Antonio Brown or some shit, fine. But like otherwise, it shouldn't be. It should be strapped down. So this kind of leads me next to the defensive line. The pass rush needs to be a lot better. Um, I think it comes down to the system of how the quarterback handles the hike. The what's it called? What's it called when a center? I can't believe I'm forgetting this term. When a center hands off the ball, when a center hands off the ball, whatever. So when the quarterback receives the hike, something I notice is two things happen. One, the defensive line is either going to fucking shuffle dance and no one is going to get in there, okay, or two, a defensive lineman is going to shuffle. No, not shuffle. A defensive end is going to fucking annihilate the offensive tackle and run through it and immediately kill the play. And if you take your quarterback and you're taking too many steps back, you're gonna get fucking sacked. Okay. We need maybe I wouldn't say a I would say we need a little more balance. Okay, I'd say we need more balance because it's just something. It's the game controls don't move fast enough for that. Okay, defensive linemen in the NFL really do sometimes get by that fast. But the problem is the reaction time between the controller and in the screen is not fast enough. And what's crazy is it used to be faster in older Maddens. If you play Madden 15, it's a faster reaction. You go hike, boom, throw. And now, man, it's like hike, boom, wait a minute. Now you could throw it, and the fucking defensive end is already there. Like that is piss poor gameplay. I don't know. I don't want to. I don't want to be. If I'm not being nice about it, that's what I would call it. That's piss poor gameplay. Okay, that's piss poor gameplay. Period. Point blank. All right. Now, knowing that is piss poor gameplay, what I'm going to also say is what I'm also going to say is that you know hold up, my ankle hurts. Um, what I'm also going to say is this is a great place to capitalize. I think it's one of the worst things in Madden that you have to do that wait when you say hike, like down, set hike, wait a minute. Like, bro, football is so fast, okay? And it's so fast. And you're ruining your game when you do that. And they probably added that shit in there on purpose because I don't think they would. That's something that I just feel like takes like some intellectual shit to realize. It wasn't like, oh, man, that snap count is behind. Just leave it there. Don't. Who cares? No, it was like, man, you know what? Leave that in there because it makes coding the rest of the game easier. Bro, that's so bullshit, bro. Get the quarterbacks to get the ball and get the ball out quicker. As soon as I say hike, hike, and I have that ball in, I should be able to launch that shit. Okay, if I want to, if I really want to, I should be able to fucking launch that shit. All right. And that's just how I feel because that's how some teams do it in real life. You know, down set, hike, boom, snap, boom. Like that's how it does. It's not a down set, hike, wait, 1, 2, 3. All right, now the game is ready for me to throw the ball. Like, dude, that is not good gameplay. And it's things like that that really hinder Madden. It's things like that that really hinder Madden's development because that creates a domino effect of bad gameplay because now I'm calling you guys out for the edge rusher being in too fast. The edge rusher is on time. I'm not allowed to react on time with my quarterback. You get what I'm saying? And that's just not good gameplay. It just isn't. Another thing is I think there needs to be more audibles with the offensive lineman. You know, if you have an edge rusher who's constantly rushing the edge, um, I should be able to tell that my offensive lineman, hey, watch the outside rush, okay? watch the outside rush, especially if he's solid. Okay, maybe if he's bad and I call out the outside rush and he's playing against a big time player, fine. But dude, if I'm calling him out, that just led me to remember X factors. We're gonna talk about X factors in a little bit. Um, bro, that shit should be fucking locked. Hold on, I gotta elevate my foot. Hold up. Oh, fucking sunlight. Okay, okay. Too much sunlight, but now we're doing a little bit better. Where was I? We were talking about the quarterback snap count, how it takes too long to react with your quarterback once you get the ball. You also can't run with the quarterback, and another thing is, and then we went on to talk about the offensive line. The offensive line, bro, sometimes, bro, they're just in like, they just get buried by the edge rushers, bro, and it's so bad because if you're on the offensive side of the ball, it ruins the gameplay. Look, bad things happen in football, and I understand that, bro. Like sometimes the edge rusher wins, and it's like it's okay, like that's football, like it happens. But bro, I should be able to react to that. I should be able to take strategy and react to that. If I could take strategy and react to that, then it's like okay, well, that evens out the playing. Not it doesn't even out the playing field. It just makes it more fun. It just makes it more, get you more in tune with it. You know what I'm saying? But something I also wanted to get to is X factors. Okay, X factors, bro, is like X factors are X factors are the X factors are fucking they're bad, bro. They're so bad. X factors are so bad, bro. And I'm gonna tell you guys why. Because X factors, the problem with X factors is it kind of it puts guys on a pedestal that I don't think is real. Okay, when X Factors first came into Madden 20 and um, was Patrick Mahomes was like the big main X Factor. I feel like it really emulated his gameplay. The escape artist was so OP and it's been so nerfed. But bro, it kind of emulated what he really does cuz in real life he does that crazy ass shit, bro. Like he does that shit. Maybe nerf it a bit, but like it emulated what he was really doing. And it was like this is like that I feel like X Factors peaked in Madden 20. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's time to remove them because it's reaching a point where you're just using them to hype up the game and they don't really make the game much better. They really don't. You know, they it doesn't emulate real football. Real football, half these NFL superstars, you know, they're in the right position and situation. For example, who are some guys I could think of? Like half of the defensive players on the Baltimore Ravens, bro. They have an elite NFL head coach. Okay, they have one of the most elite NFL head coaches of all time in John Harbaugh. When is the last time John Harbaugh had like a bad team or a bad defense? Like never. So these guys go over there, especially these young guys, they go over there and they ball. But if they leave, they're not as good. If you don't believe me, look at CJ Mosley. Like there's plenty of examples of guys who have left teams that are powerhouse and then they're not as good after that. And so it doesn't really make sense to take a player and put him on a pedestal and say, this guy is better than everybody. Like, no, like just no. And what's crazy is because now you have guys who are missing from X Factors. You have guys who probably should be X Factor. Just keep the numbers. Just keep the overalls. That emulated it enough. The idea that Patrick Mahomes is some kind of god tier player is an illusion. He can get sacked by a fifth round rookie. You get what I'm saying? Personally, I know a lot of and also the way they move on the field is so cheesy. I think it really ruins the gameplay because X Factors, they take up so much breathing room. It's like playing basketball with someone who won't stop shooting the ball and they're ball hogging. You get what I'm saying? They're taking up all the breathing room. You get what I'm saying? They're taking up all the breathing room. If you don't think that X Factor should be removed, what I want you to do is
play a game with no X factors, and you're gonna realize like, yo, this game is actually more fundamentally sound and is kind of better. And in fact, I'd even say if my bad, if EA actually, and I mean actually, really wanted to really wanted to make their game better, they would remove X factors because you can't see what's wrong with your game because you have X factors. You have players who literally have a different set of mechanics and a different set of physics and move differently. You know, running with Patrick Mahomes is doesn't feel the same as running with a regular 70 overall quarterback. You get what I'm saying? It doesn't feel the same. They literally feel different type stuff. You get what I'm saying? So what I'm going to say now is like I think they should remove X factors. There has to be a better way to acknowledge the superstars of the game. Just don't you know? And the thing is the abilities, some of these abilities they aren't good. They're very quirky. That's what I'd say. They're very quirky. They don't blend in smoothly with the game. You know, for example, like some of the DBs, like they have ball hawk. You know what I'm saying? Interceptions in the NFL are random as fuck. Like Richard Sherman, for example, like his best season in 2013, he had like 8 interceptions, ball hawk, right? And then he had like 30 pass deflections. And then like in 2015, he had like 2 interceptions, but he was still one of the best corners in the league, right? You get what I'm saying? So it doesn't make sense to give a DB a ball hog trait if interceptions are kind of lucky, honestly, unless you're like Xavier Howard, who for some reason just always gets his hands on the ball. And the thing is, they gave him the thing is they gave him traits. You know, they gave him traits like I don't even feel like explaining it. It just didn't blend in well. I do think they're onto something. For example, because people have different play styles. Like Jalen Ramsey is a shutdown corner. He doesn't really go for picks, and he doesn't really get the opportunity for picks much often, as opposed to Xavier Howard, who is also a shutdown corner. Don't get that twisted, but he'll get more picks too. But Jalen Ramsey is more of a shutdown corner. You see what I'm saying? But that doesn't mean you give them those traits on a smaller level, I guess is what I'm saying. Don't put them on some big X pedestal, put a big X on them. Oh, look at that guy, man. He's a Greek god, man. Don't throw over there. You know what I'm saying? Type shit. I mean, again, I guess that does happen in football, but I mean, it's just the way that they do it. It's the way that they do it. It just doesn't blend well, and I call it how I see it. You get what I'm saying? It doesn't blend well with the game. They need to do a better job. You know what I'm saying? Like they need to do a better job. Um, and the biggest thing about X factors is one position I think that it would probably help is wide receivers because there are different kind of wide receivers. You have guys like if we look at the NFL right now, we have the best wide receiver in the NFL is like Justin Jefferson. I don't think it's close. I don't think it's close. There are good guys like CeeDee Lamb and Jamar Chase behind him, but it's Justin Jefferson in terms of what's going on the last few years, year in, year out, and it's not close. Justin Jefferson could fucking do everything. He can break your ankles. He can run routes. He could kind of play kind of physical, and he can moss your fucking ass. Like that is honestly, he might be the most complete wide receiver of all the elite wide receivers we've seen come over the years. Like Julio Jones was big, fast, and physical, and had hands too. He was he was an elite. He was a great route runner too, but not like Justin Jefferson. Like he was more big and fast. Calvin like Justin Jefferson might be the most complete elite fucking wide receiver in the league. You know what I'm saying? So a problem I kind of have with Madden is it doesn't emulate what these players do. If something Justin Jefferson could do is he could break your ankles or he could moss you. If you throw the ball to Justin Jefferson, the aggressive catch system isn't really in a good place right now. So it's like the X factor isn't even working properly. You see what I'm saying? It's just not in a good place. I could get into detail into that, but I'd rather not. It's just not in a good place. So the X factors, it's just not good. And then the next thing, okay, with X factors is the linebackers, okay, and the defensive backs, and we're gonna talk about this too more. The defense, the fucking X factors, bro, on defense are so OP, bro. Every fucking play does not need to be interception. If I make a bad decision and I throw the ball, quarterbacks make bad decisions on every fucking drive, bro. They make bad decisions on every fucking drive they play. Okay, so if I fucking throw a bad decision, it shouldn't be an automatic interception by one of the fucking linebackers. By the way, who which in real life can barely catch. And if you don't believe that, that's why linebackers never have more than 5 interceptions a year. Okay, and out of 16 games, out of all the hundreds of passes thrown over the middle, linebackers get like 4 interceptions a year at the most. If you're lucky, like that's if you're lucky. Like most linebackers get like maybe two, one, two, or three. If you're lucky, you get 4. Rarely do they get 5. So why are linebackers out here playing like Ed Reed, bro? Like, you get what I'm saying? Why is every linebacker out here Ed Reed? It could be like a 70 overall. He plays like Ed Reed and shit. Like shit. Like, and then if he's an X Factor, he's just Ed Reed on steroids. Like, bro, like this needs to be nerfed a little bit. Not even. I don't like that word. I don't like nerfing. Just edit it. Just edit it. It shouldn't be nerfed. Nerfing implies that you're going to regress something in the name of not making it better and just regressing it. Don't regress it. Make them more give them more PBUs. You get what I'm saying? Give them more passes defense. You see what I'm saying? If you give them more passes defense, that's actually kind of realistic. You know, that's just real football. Yeah, man, X Factors, they just, if I had to sum it up, I'm trying to get into it and give like a really good, like groundbreaking explanation of why they shouldn't be in the game. But the simple truth is they're not smooth. Like the gameplay with X Factors isn't smooth. Their mechanics, their physics isn't smooth, and it's not the same as everybody else, and which doesn't make sense because I don't care how good you are at football. It's the NFL. They're all high level football players. They all move with a certain drip. Okay, they all move with a certain drip that makes the NFL the NFL. It's not like no NFL player is above that. I don't care if you're Tom Brady. There's no NFL player that is above that drip. You get what I'm saying? And I think that they made a mistake by trying to emulate the idea that like some of these players are like god tier or something, and it's just not real football. And another thing is it just makes them kind of unstoppable. If you have like Jalen Ramsey, dude, and you want to throw like a streak tier 5'10" wide receiver who's a 5th round rookie, good fucking luck. Cause bro, in football, I don't care how good you are. It's called any play or any Sunday or whatever, bro. And even Jalen Ramsey sometimes gets beat, bro. If you throw that shit, it's an interception every single fucking time, which doesn't make sense. Cause if you wanted to get real about football and the probability of the way things go in football, what would happen? What would happen is it's likely to be a pass defense, even if he's 6'1". It's just broken, bro. And some of the abilities they barely even come through. Like if you have like a middle linebacker, right? Like if you have like a new school fucking version of Luke Kuechly or something. Let's say you have Fred Warner, bro. Like I can't even think of Fred Warner's X Factor because it doesn't do shit like that. Okay, like it's probably like some random radio shit or like some random like add in X Factors that actually emulate football. Okay, that's my problem. If you're going to have X Factors, have X Factors that actually emulate football. For example, the Legion of Boom, right? Um, Cam Chancellor. Okay, Cam Chancellor. People will talk about how Cam Chancellor hit the field with a certain synergy. Okay, like a certain kind of like energy, and that energy was contagious, and it made the team around him better. That is real life football. Okay, the energy you bring to a team can alter the team. You get what I'm saying? That's real life football. So, you know what I'm saying? So, the way I see it is like it shouldn't be like how do I put this shit, like it shouldn't be like um it shouldn't be like unstoppable shit. It should be that shit that just emulates actual football. Sorry, I'm kind of getting foggy here. I've been venting for like an hour, but I'm gonna keep going because I have more passion to put out, even if I'm a little exhausted. Um, and my brain is freezing like a motherfucker. Like just shit that emulates more football. Like if I had to put in something that emulated football. I think something that's better than X Factor is traits. Okay, things that actually describe the way a player plays, as opposed to trying to uplift them and put them on some kind of pedestal. NFL players are naturally interesting, bro. You don't have to put them on some pedestal. Okay, like CeeDee Lamb, you don't have to do anything extra to make CeeDee Lamb interesting. Okay, he's already a hell of a player. Okay, what do we know about CeeDee Lamb? One thing is he's a very clean route runner. Okay, it's very quick. It's very his legs, like the way they move. It's like a horse when they run straight, and then once he has to cut, it's like a it's more like a pony. No, no, not a pony. What's an animal that like turns quick, bro? Like has good agility, like a badger mole, like or something like you know what I'm saying. CeeDee Lamb is a great elite route runner, and he has elite hands too. Are his hands like Julio Jones or Calvin Johnson's? No, but they're elite in terms of fun. Maybe not on a legend scale, but on a on a just a every year NFL scale. Yeah, they're elite. Um, I think that is a way better to describe players. Again, it goes back to what I said earlier. For example, Jalen Ramsey, he's an elite corner, but he doesn't really ball hawk much. He's not a big ball hawk. He kind of is a little bit, but not like guys we've seen before, like Richard Sherman. Okay, like prime Richard Sherman's a ball hawk. Xavier Howard's a ball hawk. Jalen Ramsey is more of just shut down. Okay, and or Darrell Revis, he could be a little ball hawk, but he's more shut down. Okay, having traits that describe the way a player's play is so much better. It's so much fucking better. I gotta say it 3 times every time. Uh, um, the next thing is, man, like hmm, who else? There is a point I wanted to get to. Well, let's just think of something. The lack of creativity in Madden, man, off the field, bro. Like we can't even create stadiums, bro. Like back in 2005, on a PS fucking two, bro. On a PS fucking two, bro. You were able to create a fucking stadium, bro. The fact that we can't create stadiums now is honestly almost a nightmare, bro. It's 2026, bro. We gotta wake up as a community, bro. It's 2026, bro. If you play Madden, bro, you're being bamboozled so badly, bro. Like you're being bamboozled so badly, bro. Like every year they are giving you the same fucking game with minor edits, and it's you're just being bamboozled, bro. Like there's no way around it. Like I'm telling you to your face. Like if you play Madden, bro, you're not they're not going to change the game for you. Like the only hope for the football community that we somehow get a good day is if we get a good game is if one day 2K comes out and gives them competition. Two, if just some big company comes out with a brand new football game. It doesn't even have to be NFL, bro. Like that's the level we're at, bro. Like that's where we're at with it, bro. Like I just want a good football game. Like it doesn't even have to be NFL, Cardinals, Niners, Raiders, no. Like it could just be a good football game. It doesn't fucking matter what the teams are, bro. You can make up some shit like the Dallas Stars, nigga, against the fucking Louisiana Gators, and I'll fucking go for it, bro, because that's how bad Madden is right now. I'm trying to think of more things because I have a lot more things to talk about. I kind of want to go to back to draft classes and mention like how like each position each position is an opportunity, and that's something that Madden has failed to capitalize on, bro. Like imagine if you're fucking playing Madden, you hop on franchise and you're drafting right, and you find a middle linebacker that runs like a 4-2 or a 4-3. Like whoa, right? That's rare, right? You don't see that often. You don't see linebackers that run a 4-2, 4-3, and then you have like one of those guys every 5 years. Like those kind of probability systems are something that they can put into video games, bro, and they just choose not to do that shit. Like it doesn't make sense why they don't do that shit. You get what I'm saying? Like if they did that shit, that'd make way more fucking sense. It'd be way better. You know what I'm saying? But like they just don't do that shit, and I don't understand why they don't do that shit, bro. Because if they did that shit, bro, the game would be so much better. Something, hold up.